You there? You can play the ball if you want to do it. We can go back to that. There you go.
Do you want the chair too? No, I'm good. I like to sit.
There you go. Yeah, your fingers are on the ball. They are.
Where are you going?
Wherever I can. So I believe, and this is the stuff that I'm writing about, that our system has a natural gyroscopic function, meaning that the Earth spins, so we have to counterspin. That's why we don't fly off the face of the Earth. Everyone thinks everything is about gravity. So, but I believe that the pelvis is a gyroscope, and then the hands, ankles, and the back of the head are subgyros. So with that, what happens when the wrist, from trauma or whatever it is, but the first thing I look for is how the ulna and the radius, those are just the two bones. I mean, if you want to get technical, I can get out my iPad. But first you want to look at how the ulna and the radius rotate around the whole hand. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm doing right now, is going in right now and seeing, because the way the hand wants to come here, automatically I'm going to take that relationship where it's going to make the ulna and the radius more dominant, less dominant, depending on the situation. Here it's much more of a neutral, left, right, equal. So I can feed myself, I can go out, versus if I'm here, now I've lost my neutral. And now I've got to bring the hand around versus bringing the hand around this way. And again, it's just an option. So, not that I'm forcefully holding the hand straighter, but I'm trying to do this as in a relaxed position as possible, where I can do that to the best of his ability. This is where you sort of have to change your functioning. A lot of people, I'm going to move over just a little bit more because you really want to flip, which is fine. Here's the ball on this side. He's not going to look like the textbook. I'm fine with that. But we still have to look at the efficiency of movement and his function and the best for his system. Now, I still expect the hand to end up functioning like my hand, but right now this is where we're at. So that's where I kind of get when people go, well, he's not going to be able to do blah, blah, blah because of, unless no, we still have to work on function, even though you're busy working on making the hand to present at a more appropriate fashion, or however the doctors want to look at it. So after stimulating the ulna and the radius, and again, you don't have to know which is the oldest and the radius. I'm not concerned about that. The hand actually has a really nice, you just go in between the two bones. Yes. Yes. It's just like cooking. You can just use that little bit of, that's a dash and this is you don't need exact measurements. But we then have the metatarsals, which are all the small bones, and again, you don't have to know each one by name because his bones are so small. I mean, your fingers are not going to be able to get in there. This is a nice little thing you can do with him after he's had a bath, or he's going sleepies, or even if he is asleep. Ah, there we go. He's actually starting to get a little bit of function where he's bending his hand back.
Wow.
See? There we go. That's that twist. See, now I'm actually twisting from the opposing side. Is that catching that okay?
We do stretching with them all the time.
Stretching doesn't
But
work.
it's not.
So the reason stretching doesn't work.
I know that from working with
Right.
you, but tell me why.
But stretching, we're the only species that believes in stretching. Everybody thinks that a stretch is a stretch, but actually muscles turn on and they turn off. So if you're contracted, you're an on. So what I prefer to do is actually contract more. So the brain now has options. Oh, I contract more. That means I can contract less. Instead of just saying, and that's what people do, especially like with stroke or this, that, and the other. So There we go. So now he's rotating totally like I was talking about, much more in a neutral position. And you can look at the difference.
I know, I was just thinking that, like.
So just feel the way that feels. And now see.
Oh, wow.
But look
You have to feel
look
this.
at also,
You have to feel
look
it.
at his fingers just came out for a
I
second.
know.
There, his fingers are there. His
Oh,
fingers
I saw
are
it.
coming out. Yeah, he's
saw
got the
that.
5.
Okay.
We'll feel this one first.
I could see it.
Yeah. There, and see now he's actually stretching his arm out. See now he's doing it more where he brought the
Do you
arm
feel
out.
that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot more relaxed. Too.
She's like a
It's
miracle
available.
worker.
Yeah.
It's available now to do, and that's how.
Oh my gosh. Now, question, it'll be relaxed, and then will it go back?
It will go
Yeah,
back
it'll go
because you're
back
putting
because
on a
he's got-
thorax. But that's fine. Right now, we still, this is where a lot of people would say, burn the plastic. Well, you know, I'm sorry, his systems, it needs to be, but see already, now you can bring the wrist, see how it's starting to. Now he'll contract because these are habits he knows.
Right.
But what you do, see now the fingers are coming out more. And I just,
But if I can recreate that
I'm
at home-
rotating the wrist. Everything I do is based off of rotation, but see now that he's more complex, it's more like an infinity. So see how my that's it. Yeah, that's your hand. You see it? I'm rotating the wrist one way and the hand the other way. And see, it's much more like, I call it the infinity. But this is now turning a doorknob. You know what I mean? Get it out.
Good cough.
I'll do both today since this is really going well and he's in a good mood.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But see, now that his whole hand is starting to work with me, now I can go into more of the fingers.
Right.
So now I'm in, and again, I can get out my little iPad and show you.
Good cough, buddy. You're good. You're good.
Can I get a?
But see, now what I can do is, so I'm continuing this twist or rotation, but see, I'm keeping the fingers, and I'm not holding the fingers, but see now I'm starting to work with, first of all, his extension. That's the one thing he's never really experienced. The hand should extend, not grab. And again, this is immature. As babies do more of a grab, but eventually they should be able to, and that's crawl, that extension. But if I don't see extension in the hand, I know darn well I can look at a child and say, well, he can't crawl. And people go, oh, you're psychic. Well, no, I just know how the body works. And that's where, like, I'm on a CDI board. And the neurologist said, well, if he can do an iPad, he can write. 2 different functions. Holding a pencil is knowing where your arms end and your proportions. An iPad's just a swipe. It's the depth perception's different. And then also I have to know how to do a circle here in the shoulder as I do in my hand. Whereas an iPad, again, I can have a totally contracted system. I can do it with my elbow.
Right, right.
So in many aspects, God bless an iPad, because Santino's going to be able to go to college due to an iPad.
Right.
Whereas if he
Right.
had to do a mouse and a whatever and a pencil, I mean, no offense, life would be
really
much more
hard.
challenging.
Yes. We follow a little girl named Skylar on Facebook. I'm reading the book her dad wrote. She's 12. Same age as your little man. Anyway, she's got the bilateral perisylvan. Probably when you're
There we go. See
the
now?
brain thing. She doesn't have the arthrogryposis, but anyway, it has. She can't speak. She can understand. She's very intelligent, but she doesn't speak because she's got this iPad, and now she just got a speaker. So her dad like hangs the speaker in the mirror of the rear view mirror, and then he can have conversations with her now, like in the car, and he's
Yeah.
like so ecstatic because she just types on her iPad, and then it projects her voice right there to him.
Yeah.
And yes, so iPads are going to be amazing for him too, as are you. say, shoot, we might not need an iPad if we just keep working with Michelle Turner.
Yeah, I haven't even hit his mouth and face yet.
And how ironic that your last name is Turner.
Oh,
when you
and-
talk about
yeah,
rotation,
rotation.
right?
I never thought about that.
Really? Oh my gosh, I think about it all the time. I'm like, yeah, it's like God put her on this planet with the last name of Turner.
They say that with a lot of professions, like there's
Yeah.
more dentists named Dennis or something than...
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now he's getting acceleration. So now I can just flip, 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 flip. This is a thing I talk about a lot. People don't understand. If you don't have that internal acceleration,
Internal acceleration.
you know, I can't get a hand to move faster than the spine, let's say. There's an acceleration just to throw a ball, to do whatever. And kids with autism have that, their acceleration is very misdirected or not developed properly.
Like that? You want to eat it, don't you?
So let him have his hand for a second and just feel. So all I'm doing here is just letting him rub himself. This is to learn proportions. You can do the same like with here, but it's like to feel his leg. Yeah.
You just have to cough that out. I know you can do it. Big cough and it'll be gone. No, I think you can calm down. He doesn't seem in distress or anything.
So now you can feel the one hand if you want, and the other.
Yeah, I definitely feel a difference here. Even this little pinky is coming down more.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super tight.
Yeah, it's more stiff.
I just have to learn what you did now. Oh, I'm like, I don't think I brought my phone.
No, unless you went home and got it.
You were doing something like that, but
Yeah.
probably not like that.
I'll do it on you before you leave, just so you can feel it.
Okay. Are you clapping? Are you clapping with that hand? I see you extending those fingers for sure.
Yeah.
You
See,
really
that's
have to
where-
look, but you can see it.
but
Like
see,
he just
but-
did it again.
Yeah,
He's
but
doing
see,
it.
that's where Santino though was incredible. He knows it and he immediately plays with it. Where a
Uh-huh.
lot of kids, you have to like, you know, it's one thing. He wants the ball. There's a big difference between that and a child that goes, yeah, it's over there.
Well, that's
I'll
how
think
he used
about
to
it.
be, though. I mean, I personally think, like, when we first came to see you, he wasn't reaching for things. I mean, once in a while he would.
Well, he
But
couldn't.
now
But,
he's
I'm just
always reaching
saying
because
though.
of what
But
you-
once,
yeah.
and look at even the head lift because of the change in the hand. Well, young
And
man,
even, like, when you helped him with the thumb sucking, like, he's got it down now, huh?
I'm
got
gonna
it down.
flip you around
Bye-bye.
so I can get the other hand. You can still tuck the mommy over there. But is it okay? Can I work on this hand now? Did you find me again? Did you? The one thing I really love about you, Santino, is your button nose. You really have the most cutest button nose. There's a lot of things cute. I do like
That would
that.
put on some weight, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you almost picked your nose with that hand now. Holy cow. You almost picked that nose.
I know. So now I'm going to start off with this hand. So same thing. So I can really feel it when I get in here that the wrist has a very hard time moving on this hand around the lower arm. But when I say that, I'm already working on changing it. That's where I'm different too. I don't judge it. I don't. Nope. That's where I go,
You see him? Now, I've gotten him to bend those fingers before through, maybe I was doing what you're doing.
But see, if you go
without
like this,
realizing it.
try to do it here versus here. It's just a completely different hand function.
But I was doing a lot of like deep, like getting lotion and massaging here. And I think I almost was doing what you're doing without realizing I was doing it.
Well, that's the whole thing, I'm
Like, so
sure.
now I can learn how to do it with intent so that I can help him maintain it. Because I remember before we went to the hospital, when he was like a month old, I would sit in the chair while I was feeding his bottle, and I would just sit with the lotion and just constantly get in here and rub. And rub his little fingers, and after a while, his fingers would start to bend a little.
I'm gonna go from a thumb sucker to a finger sucker. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, you got 5 fingers. You got 5.
Oh, and here's the ball. Did you feel the ball? Do you feel it?
There you go. Almost. Okay.
Do you want me to get your phone for you? Do you want me to grab your phone for you?
Oh, I got it right here.
Oh, you have it there. Okay. I keep hearing it over there.
Oh.
Yeah, well, maybe I forgot my phone, so it could be my husband. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care so much about your phone if I didn't have mine, or if I had mine.
There you go. So now that the more so on this side, I've got the shoulder going more. So now the shoulder, see the arm now can come up here. So if you were to roll over, coming over with the arm up. Why does that
Which
feel
would make
good?
it so much easier to
Does
roll.
that feel good? Well, rolling is when the arms come up. If they're down here, he rolls and he'll
rolls
not
on
only
it.
get stuck, or he rolls on his face because of the trach, and then
You want to do what I did, huh?
there we go. This is starting to separate my lower arm. There we go. See now, it's total.
Happy.
So what I'm doing here, no, you're not happy, is I'm rolling the palm over the wrist. Feel that? So if you're right here and rolling it, this is a really, because this eventually is a going into crawl and then a pre-stand. And if you can't push up, and this is where kids learn to actually nurse, they push off their the mother's breast tissue. That's actually a pre-standing.
Okay.
But they're learning that opposing, and if that doesn't develop, that's, it's a milestone. It's mild, and I can do the same thing from this end. I still have my fingers over the padding of the palm and rotating the palm over his lower arm, the ulnar radius, or the wrist.
Big Michelle Chandler's a really nice place. You
Yeah.
should come down there and live there. So we can come and see you there. I'll be your
I tell you, if I
experiment.
won the lottery tomorrow, I feel so strongly I would not leave City of Peoria school system for my kids.
Yeah.
And ain't
It's good. That's really good.
However,
not
considering
all
there's
parents
kids that I
feel that
can't
way
even
about
get
school.
here from Glendale, I'm very appreciative you come here from Chandler.
Oh gosh, I would come here from California if I had to.
There you go. See, now he's
Colleen
going
would be
around.
taking a big long day trip.
See?
Here we go.
Oh, that feels much nicer, huh? Yeah? Nice to have hands. Wiggle wiggles.
Yeah, he's interacting with me.
But see the change in acceleration, how he could get after that rolling ball and follow
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. He's so funny, Santino. He likes to make noises, huh?
I can't believe it. We're only a half hour into it. We'll have to do the feet today too.
I was gonna ask or tell you, when I put him on his stomach now, all of a sudden over the last 2 days, like when I help him roll over to his belly for tummy time, he's doing this a lot.
Yeah, it's
Like arching his back, like almost like that, like down, whatever that
Right.
yoga pose is, I don't know.
well, what it is again. We're meant to oppose gravity, so his spine is learning how to start to come
Yeah.
up.
It's neat to see. The only problem with it is that when he does it, his face is flat on the ground. I
Right.
can't, because if he's doing that, then he can't do this, you know, because he's like, he can't do both.
Is that better now, huh? So now, if you want, you can. Well, you don't have to rip his finger out of his mouth, but when he's free, so you can feel now this hand.
Yeah, I definitely. Getting more.
And see, now it's none of it is a stretch, though.
Yeah,
Like
it's all
with-
very
yeah,
loose.
Yeah.
It's all very loose. And even I keep watching this hand closing and opening. And
Yeah.
like more. Usually those fingers are straight and in the mouth and they're kind of closing
Yeah, he's
down.
grabbing around it.
Like he's going like that. You know how usually he goes like this to chew his hand? They're more like bending a little.
More flexible.
So then I just have to
Yeah, because
maintain
most of
it.
them they just stretch it, right? I mean, they just stretch it.
Yeah, all we do when all I do, I'm gonna just show you so you can, I mean, I know you know, I just go like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
then I hold it.
Yeah. Joint compression.
And then I hold these fingers down, and like, it's, you know, it's
Yeah.
just keeping them from
It's
locking.
keeping you busy.
Keeping me busy.
So now what you can do though is actually there. It'll seem like a stretch, but see how I'm. No, it doesn't seem like a stretch. Oh, okay.
He says no.
But you can roll, but I'm pulling. So like on your finger, give me your finger. So not only am I rolling, but I'm pulling.
Okay, see.
So feel that extension through the arm. So I'm not
Right.
pulling, but it's just a light. And if I went too fast, see how you jerk? So it's like pulling taffy. You know,
Okay.
that. So with him, I can do it in this position. So I'm just doing, and you can do it in either direction with babies. But I'm gonna roll. But see how his hand grows and turns? Look at him, Lawrence. You know.
You must be doing something better than I'm doing because he's watching you. Not me.
No one will love him like you, though. That's all that matters. And now. And what that does, instead of just doing this, open and close, is how you can open and twist.
Does it look like I might be doing it right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, good.
Okay.
You are.
What were you doing on the bones here?
Well, what I'll do is last
You're
10
gonna show
minutes,
me,
I'll,
okay.
I'll come around and give you a better, because way I'm positioned, I can't do my work as well if I'm like this versus if I had your hand on the table. And then I'll record it so you can.
Yeah, I guess it's
Well, because they're dealing in rehabilitation. If you hurt your knee, they teach you how to re-walk again. That's rehabilitation. When you've never walked before, that's habilitation. And it's a completely different principle. That's why, like now that I can do this with Santino, it might seem so simple, but this whole counterbalance is huge in a baby because this is walking. This is crawling. And if a baby's just lying there, not even developing that, they're not going to go to the larger, and that's where you see kids that they put them in standers, but they're like this because they don't know how to just shift their weight, which is, I know. Yeah. And that's just my frustration talking as a mother, not as a therapist, because
Right.
I went through it with my kid. Especially when they told me he was so mentally retarded, bottom 1%, like Mrs. Turner, you just feel this way because he's your son. And I'm like, God, I was bawling my eyes out. There must have been 20 people in that meeting, transitioning to kindergarten.
Wow.
And I was like, because he could do some really neat things, but other things it was like, oh. But he could do a puzzle, like easily like 20-piece puzzle, not even look at the picture, like just by shapes. He could not walk past a puzzle that he didn't care if it was a one-piece or, Maybe by that age we were up to like a 100-piece puzzle, which again is not brainstorming. But he would just be like, just putting it in, like, oh, that shape goes there, that shape. Not like, oh, green, blues, or I'm making a teddy bear, Thomas. There was no cognitive. And 2, he could read.
Oh.
He knew, I found out when he was in the hospital, I was doing a whiteboard. I was drawing the picture and then writing the name, kind of like doing our own flashcards. And he'd maybe do like pain. That was his level of speech at the time. But I always drew first. And this one time I wrote helicopter, I was about to draw it, and he went helicopter.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, get the heck out of here, you can. And I started writing like Nick Jr., Thomas a Train, anything I could think of at his level. So again, the all in the radius, if you're confused at all on a big person, but this is my test drive. So see, you're relaxed, and I could hardly move your wrist. See that? So even in a relaxed position, I can't just flop you. I know perfectly well I can get your hand to move, but for whatever reason in this position. So same thing. I'm just going to come in between the 2 bones. It's not an exact science. I'm just looking for that balance and counterbalance. So see, I cannot seesaw. Do you feel that? The wrist. And that being said, again, that's my assessment. So I've tried about 5 times to go back and forth, not working. So now what I'm doing is, you'll feel it, I'm going a little bit this way and a little bit this way. So right now I'm just basically with the right.
Get your shoes in.
There we go. Now I have your arm. Feel it? I can push back and forth. And now I'm going to do the other side. Again, that's not giving me a lot. So now I'm going to go back and, so now already, since my first assessment, I already have this from you. Now that's what I'll do all day during the lesson. People don't realize that, in a sense, not only am I checking my work, but what I'm doing is checking you. How fast are you learning from me? If I go back and go, oh, look, already, I know you don't have a neurological condition right now, you don't have any neuropathy that I need to worry about because you're responding way too quickly. If I was still going, okay, kid, where are you? You know what I mean? I'm dealing with a different level of brain function.
There, man.
That means I have to approach you differently, not that you have to approach me differently. That's the big clincher. Most people think, oh, well, he did it, you should be doing it, like in a classroom. Well, let me know when that works for you. So I'm just going to go up for you because you're bigger and just ask for a little bit more participation. And then I can go, see already now, so much nicer. See how I can go in and out? And again, even though you see much more movement and it might look differently on film, have you noticed I'm not stretching you at all? So now what I'm going to do is see, I have to go really slow. See how I can't rotate this way and then rotate that way. This is my little infinity thing. So see, it's not there yet. So for me to sit there again would be like beating a dead horse. So now I'm just going to come in, and this is where you can switch or switch, whatever is comfortable. So now I'm going after all your little bones here. It's like I'm going down slowly. But see how much now your wrist is moving? Had I start here, give me the other hand for a second. Had I just start here, you see the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Versus here, I just have more to work with.
I just have to tell you, if the numbness on the top of my hand goes away after you do this, I'm gonna get
Santino, Santino's losing
Step
his.
aside. You're losing your slot. We were just talking about that. I said I still have like the numbness on the tops of my hands, but most of mine are up against
There we go. And notice, I'm just as curious about your hand as I am with his. I mean, I don't go, what the hell did she do to his hand, you know? Now, this is what I was doing with him, and see, it's awkward for you. Feel the lack of rotation through this upper finger. So again, just back off a little bit. So what I'm doing is a rotation through the pinky. Feel how I'm rotating? Rotating. There we go. So now I'm going to just go back and see already the difference. See, now your reflex pattern's coming back. See how I can pick it up and down?
You just sound
It's just amazing how much more he moves. Like even though he didn't even work on his. Oh yeah, you did this morning.
Yeah, but look at how he's opening his hands up to roll over. That's what people don't get. It's a system. Can't do, you know. There we go. See, now I can go down. See, feel the difference? I can't. This is a compression here. Feel the difference. So I'm just going to come over. And all I'm really doing with my touch here, yes, it's all with rotation. But really, I'm just saying, you know, I'd really like, there it is. Feel the difference of lifting the hand up here? And feel, I don't think so. And this is where a lot of people think, oh, but I didn't break anything, I didn't do, well, you've fallen, jammed your wrist, I'm sure, once in your lifetime. I mean, we're human. There we go.
Blame it on gymnastics.
So this is where I was rolling. Feel the roll.
Okay.
See, it's much more meatier. Again, I'm not doing this. That's what you're used to. That's a joint compression. I'm rolling. And see, there we go. Twist. See the twist difference? This is where your shoulder bugs you. Versus here. Feel the difference in the shoulder as well as...
When you went the other way, I felt it down
Yeah,
here.
that's, yeah. There we go. But see, now it's working out in the bicep as well as... But see how it's all that rotation? So now at that point, I can come out to the fingers. See the difference now in pulling and rolling than what we had before. And see how I'm pushing away with the one finger and pulling towards me. So I am in a sense stretching, but see how it's a stretch roll.
Yeah, it's much different.
Yeah. It's not this. Feel the difference on your system versus this.
Right, yep. So when I work with him, I'll start at the beginning, even though you did, and I just keep doing that. Okay.
Every time he goes back in the orthotics, he's losing that. So every time, you know,
Yep.
sure that's not coming out. Okay.
And he's in them all day.
there we go. Oh, I know. Remember when I first met you, you had a problem taking them off just for the lesson.
Yeah, well, I was like, should I take a
She's like, the doctor says 24/7. I'm like, well, you take them off at bath time. You can do it now.
I take them off more.
Yeah.
I take them off, like floor time, and I'm like, how's he gonna do floor time in
Right.
side? But that's why, I feel like, he said he's doing good, but he's gonna need another surgery, he said, because it's not getting the flexation, but, maybe he won't. You know, maybe
my
with all
problem
the work
is-
that we do with you, maybe you don't.
Surgery and mobility is like an oxymoron. I just don't understand by saying I'm going to cut this to make it more mobile. There are some surgeries like SPML that, you know, the spinal length, the muscular lengthening and stuff that I do believe in, but to say it's to quote stabilize the system, well then what does it affect? You know, that's great. You make the foot do one thing, but then you lose the rotation to do something else. So
It's a heel cord. that
yeah,
he's
I know,
got,
but
But yeah.
I'd
no,
like
not
I'd
the
like
same.
my
Yeah.
shot. Once you cut something, you can't get it back.
It's already been
And
cut.
you never know with the scar tissue and stuff. I'm just saying,
No,
like
that's
you
why
with
I
you,
would
I'd like a
love
shot.
to avoid any further surgery at
So
all.
now feel.
Yeah, I totally feel different. Yeah.
So even lift the arm up over the.